let us move to the next part, that is the transport of the minerals in plants. So already we know that water is required and even food is required for the growth of the plant. So liquid conduction or transport of the liquid material is because of the xylem, just now what we have seen. Now moving to the next complex tissue, that is called as the phloem. So why we call it as a complex tissue, xylem and phloem? Because they are made up of more than two types of the cells. For example, like if you take phloem, so phloem here it is made up of four types of the cells, like phloem parenchyma, phloem that is a companion cells, seed tubes, and phloem fibers. So same like that, even in xylem also we have got more than two types of the cells. So that is why among all the different type of the tissues in the plants, we consider xylem and phloem as complex tissues. So examples for complex tissues are xylem and phloem. Now just now we are told that since it is made up of more number of the cells, so what is the role of these particular parenchyma, companion cells, seed tubes and fiber? So on the whole, these 4 or 5 types of the cells which are there are responsible for the transportation of the food. And this particular phloem, so it extends right from the roots to the stem, to the side branches and up to the leaves. And already we know that leaves are called as the food factories. So we call leaf as the food factory. So the food is produced in the leaves. Now the food which is produced in the leaves should be distributed to all the parts of the plant. So the growing part can be the underground, okay, or it can be the side branches, or it can be the uppermost growing parts. So everywhere, right, all the sides, left and right sides, top and bottom, everywhere the food should be supplied. So this phloem is responsible to supply the food or transport the food from the leaves to all the growing parts of the plant. But xylem is not like that. Xylem starts from the roots and it extends or it moves only in the upward direction. Movement of the water in the upward and sideways directions. Okay, in the sideways direction, that is to the branches, and branches will be having the leaves. So water should be supplied up to the leaves. So from the roots to the main stem, from there to the branches, sides, and there from there to the leaves. But phloem is not like that. The function of the phloem is different. It will supply the food to all the growing parts of the plant, underground or aerial, whatever it can be. So that is the function of the phloem. Now here, to prove that really the food transport takes place with the help of the phloem or not. So how can we prove that? So scientists have proved that. So here we have got one simple experiment. Okay, you can see one particular organism here, an insect which is called as the aphid. This is also called as the green fly. Okay, so by using this insect, so the scientists were successfully able to prove that phloem is responsible for the conduction of the food or transport of the food from the leaves to all the growing parts of the plants, any type of the plant. So we have got the phloem responsible for the transport of food, right? So how was the experiment conducted? So you can see this particular type of the aphid insect. So it is basically feeding upon the plant juices. So there are insects in nature which are purely depending only on the plant juices. For example, like mosquitoes, we have got male mosquitoes, they feed on the plant juices. Okay, and number of honeybees, butterflies, we can see this. Number of insects are there. So one example here, what the scientists have taken, studied thoroughly, is the aphid. So whenever the aphids are sucking the juices from the plant, and particularly here this part is it is taken from the leaf. So you can see here, aphid extracting the food material from the plant. Okay, if you take the leaf, so in the leaf also you will be having two type of tissues, complex tissues we have told, xylem. So the water should be supplied to the leaf. So water from the roots will be supplied to the leaf because of the presence of the xylem. Now once the water is available, so the food preparation will take place in the leaf. So the phloem is also present here. So with the help of the phloem only, now the food should be supplied, right? Now this is the leaf area. Suppose like the aphid is sucking the plant juice from the leaf. So you can see what are the different type of the areas here. So this is the area where exactly this sharp pointed needle like structure. So this is called as the proboscis, a sharp needle like structure. So which helps in easily sucking the plant juices. The proboscis is extended into the up to the phloem region, because phloem is the part where exactly the food is present in the leaf. It can be in the leaf or it can be in the stem region. Okay, so like this, you can see the proboscis of the aphid extending into the phloem region. So this pinkish area you can see, this is the phloem. In the inner side is the xylem. Then the totally innermost side is the pith region we call it as, and the outer part, this hard part, what we call it as the bark region. Okay, so like this, whether it can be the stem region or it may be the leaf region, phloem is the part which conducts the food. Now whenever the proboscis is extending into the phloem region like this, so carefully what the scientists have done, they have gently built this particular aphid. Okay, removed all the part of the insect body, leaving the proboscis attached to the this particular phloem. And when they have observed that, so once this part all totally is removed away, the proboscis is found attached to the phloem region, they found some juicy material, some sugars were extracted, or they have seen that the sugars were oozing out. Along with the sugars, okay, even amino acids were there, so they found some sticky material coming out from this particular proboscis. Even after the insect was killed, removed, okay, just leaving away the proboscis as it is, the juicy part is left coming down, dropped like this. So this particular juicy part was collected and taken into the lab and tested. They found that what is that particular juicy material, sugary material, consists of sugars and amino acids. This was exactly the same type of substance which was found in the leaf or in the stem region, which was taken from the phloem. So with this, they considered that phloem is responsible for the release of the for the transport of the food material in the plant. So this particular insects, whenever they are sucking this particular food material from the phloem, so generally aphids, what do? They take a large quantity of the food material, sugars. So they consume little, assimilation is little, but leaving out material, okay, eliminating it is more. So from the body of the aphid, the extra sugar molecules will be released and that are brought onto the leaves. That is why in nature we can find some of the leaves, whenever we touch it in some plants, so they are sticky in nature. What is that sticky nature? Because of the sugary material extracted. So when you find a leaf sticky in nature, you can understand that already a aphid might have come to that particular leaf and might have consumed the sugars. So the extra sugars which are falling there, so that is called as the honeydew. We call it as honeydew. So extra material coming from the body of the, or which is eliminated from the body of the aphid-like insects. Not only aphids, other insects also do consume the plant juices. So like this, scientists have proved that. So whatever the proboscis is taking, the proboscis of the insect is extracting the material, so it is coming exactly from the phloem region. So with that, they prove that phloem is responsible for the transport of the food materials in plants, where xylem is responsible for water conduction, phloem is responsible for the food conduction.